Right. So once your Anaconda is completely downloaded, you just click on it, and then wait to see a prompt that will come. Right. As you can see, mine is a 64-bit setup, so I just click next. Blah blah blah. The license agreement, agree. For me, I prefer to just install for this user, so I recommend you to use the just me. Click, then you use the default destination path. Just click next. So since I've already installed it, you just click next until you install your Anaconda, right? Then here you just use the second item. You just click the second item. You should ignore this because you don't need to mess with the environment variable. It will create some problems for you. So you just use the default one, then you install. Right. So I'm going to cancel this since I've already installed Anaconda on my machine. So what you need to do now is, after you install your Anaconda, it will appear an Anaconda folder will be created here. So you just double click the green icon, Anaconda. Just wait for it to load. Right. So Anaconda is already installed Python on my machine. So there is no need for you to install Anaconda, then install Python, or to install Python, then install Anaconda, because Anaconda brings everything to your machine. It installs the Python, it also installs a couple of IDEs. Right. So that's what I'm going to show you. Let's just give it a couple of minutes to load. You should be practicing this all the time. Practice makes perfect. If you don't practice, you easily forget. Right? But if you practice, you become a guru in this area. And I want to tell you the truth, guys. This is not difficult. It's very simple. You just need to dedicate time to learn, to practice. Right? Let's wait for it to load. Right, so this is the Anaconda Navigator. This is the page that we've just created. So as you can see, we have got all these items. We have PyCharm. I've already installed PyCharm, so it will appear in my Anaconda Navigator. I also have already installed Visual Studio Code. This is also another IDE that you can use with Python, but it will appear on my Navigator as well. I've already installed Spider, but for you guys, I don't think it's installed. So you have to install it to appear like this one, the one that is written here, Groovies. So you just click install so that you install all the other IDEs that you might want to use. So we are going to be using the Jupyter Notebook. So that's what we're going to be using. And we'll alternate. Sometimes we'll also use Spider. But when you are mature enough programmatically, you may then go for PyCharm. PyCharm is arguably the best Python IDE. Arguably, remember the word arguably. We also have Qt console that you can use for writing your Python code. So you can create your environments. As you can see, there are several Python environments that I have created. And for this level, I don't think you're going to be creating a lot of environments. But for the data science guys, when they do the other advanced courses after completing this one, they will need to create new environments. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to launch a Jupyter Notebook so that we can see how it works. The Jupyter Notebook. So the Jupyter Notebook will open in one of your browsers. If you have got Google Chrome, Firefox, or even Opera, sometimes you can even instruct it to use a particular browser if you really like using a certain type of browser according to your own reasons. So you just have to wait. Right. That's my. So when your Jupyter Notebook launches, it goes straight to this folder. This folder is your user folder. For example, on my machine, it's users. This is the cell folder that you are seeing here. So you might want to create your programming folder that you use for all the codes that you're going to be writing. So as for me, I'll go to my documents, Then here I'm going to create a new folder. Right. So a folder has already been created. It's written new folder. That's the folder. So I have to right click this icon. I have to click this icon and then rename it. So I can say my programming class. So this is my programming class. So I look for that folder that I've just renamed my programming class, which is this one. Right? This is my programming class. So in my programming class, I'm going to create a new Python notebook. Right? So you can create all these other things, but right now I want to launch a new Python written Python 3, because we are using Python version 3. Right. Right. So this is your programming environment, and there are lots of things that you can do. So these are known as cells. You can add cells by clicking the plus icon that is here. You can add as many cells as you want. You can also remove cells using this scissors icon. You can remove. Right. This is used for copying code. Right. If you want to rename this notebook that we have, you can click on the file icon, then click rename, and give it a name of your choice. Say my first Python program. You can say program or notebook, either way. As you can see, the name has changed. So these cells, you can change the structure of these cells using this drop-down box. Right? So if you want to use some notes, you can use the markdown. The markdown can help you to write there. You just write a couple of my first piece of code. My first piece of code. So we don't want to run this as a Python code, but we want to write it as text. So it's not as a markdown. So if you click here, the run button, you can see we have notes. You can even edit it. You double click if you want to edit it. Maybe we want it to appear as a heading. It appears as a heading because it's bold. If we want to make it a smaller heading, we can increase the number of hashtags. You see, it's smaller. If we put another one, 2, it gets smaller. So the more hashtags you put in the code, the smaller the text becomes, right? So I'm just going to change, I want to make it bigger, right? Like this. So as I said yesterday, Python, it doesn't use compilers. Python doesn't have a compiler, it uses an interpreter. Because an interpreter, it executes one line of code after the other. It doesn't wait for the whole chunk of codes for execution like a compiler. So right now I want to show you how you declare variables in Python. First of all, before we declare any variables, I just want to show you how to print something. Print something using Python. You use the print keyword, just write print. Then you open in brackets, you put quotes, double quotes, then let's write hello world, exclamation mark. In Python you don't put any semicolon or what. We are done with this code. That's your hello world. So that's all. Next I'll be showing you how to create variables and stuff.